Hey man, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm very good. Yeah. So where are you?
Quebec City.
You're in Quebec City, and that's where the band started, right?
Yeah, we're all from Quebec. We're not all from Quebec City, but we met in Quebec City.
Okay. So like Quebec has a bit of a reputation for the extreme side of metal. Like
Yeah,
obviously,
you could say that.
obviously the black metal scene is kind of very well known, but there's a lot of death metal bands here as well. What do you think it is about Quebec that kind of brings out that side of musicians?
Oh boy, I don't know. I think from even the 80s, Quebec always was a good metal city. You could say more like a prog rock city, maybe in the 70s. Rock music in general has always been pretty popular here, if I could say. Uh, but with I don't know, extreme metal wasn't that popular as I remember in the early 2000s. Like it was mostly Iron Maiden, that kind of city, where if you listen to that metal, you're not gonna see that much shows. Like I remember Incantation coming like in 2005. I was too young to go, and they didn't return until like several years later.
Right.
Like this member came to I don't know when I was in high school, and I didn't know that band at that point, and some friends went and nobody was there. So
I don't
I
know.
don't know. Oh yeah, it's weird. Also, early 2000s was mostly brutal death metal years, so those kinds of band had popularity, but old school death metal wasn't like only like the older guys were into it.
Right.
So we didn't get that education like early on, you could say. So I don't know. As of black metal, it's mostly I don't know why. Actually, I know the guys like in the black metal scene pretty much, but the why is Quebec City a big black metal place. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that everyone from the countryside like converge to Quebec City at some point,
Right.
like where you come of age and you want to get the fuck out of your country
Yeah.
city. The only the best way if you're afraid of the big city is going to Quebec. So I think yeah, it's a place where a lot of people maybe like when you talk about Quebec black metal, maybe more traditionalist kind of dudes who like enjoy Quebec City as a whole. So
Yeah.
lots of those guys are actually from the North Coast, where my own family's from, and Saguenay-Lac Saint-Jean, Gaspésie, stuff like that.
Right.
They're mostly they have more like countryside background, so maybe it's that character of Quebec City that is like the capital of regions.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit like, in Norway, they have the cold winters and a lot of nature. And, it's similar in Quebec, I guess, especially those areas.
Yeah, but Quebec is like a microcosm sometimes, like places like Bécomo and Forestville have less snow than us. Like I don't know, it's a geographical wonder. There's no question about that. But yeah, it's the river, the wind from the river and the fucking snow. Sometimes like, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like, there's so much warmer place in Quebec.
So when you guys got together, you've been together over a decade now.
Yeah,
Did you have a clear vision of how you wanted your band to sound from the beginning?
not at all. Not at all. Actually, me and the drummer went to high school together, and we were living in the same apartment for a while. And then he went to like move with his girlfriend, and we were like, ah shit, we can't get drunk every day, so let's start a band. And we both were heavily into thrash metal at that point, and early black metal, early death metal. So that was the point. That was the point at that time, like playing the music we like the 3S as we call them, Slayer, Sodom, Sepultura, and that was the goal. I'm a huge fan into Bathory, Celtic Frost, so that were the band I wanted us to sound like. And after a while, we had a bass player, senior, but he wasn't doing the job good. And then we got Krasha, our actual senior, to come, and he just took the guy's place gradually. So at some point, me and him, we were like big old school death metal fans. So we say, why don't we play that genre? It fits us better. Like we like different kind of thrash metal. I'm more into like German bands, or maybe like as I call it, muscle thrash, like Morbid Saint and that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
he didn't like he liked those bands, but his taste in thrash is a little different. So we said we get along super well with what the classic death metal should sound like. So let's go with that.
Yeah.
So
So
that's how it happens.
And how do you think this new album compares to the other two? Is there a noticeable shift?
Oh yeah, not in the songwriting, not in the way we play that much. I think for that one, what I was aiming at was I always thought our first and second album sounded a little bit overproduced, a little bit not the natural rawness I like about death metal and cross punk in general. So I was like, why don't we try, especially in the curfew context we had at that point, why don't we try to record ourselves live like in a show? That's how I think that's how we sound ourselves the most. And the guys went along. They weren't sure at the beginning, but I installed dictatorship. No, I said let's come on, let's try. And we were very happy with the things it made us do. Like you have to be way much in control of the song that you are going to tape. Also, in the songwriting, that forces me to be a little more realist.
Yeah,
I have to be realistic. Like sometimes, let's do that shit, and it only works if we like take the time to. Now, if I stick to what I know the band can do, I think that it presents or we appear at our advantage where we do stuff that we're good at.
Yeah.
So I think it went like that. As far as the recording went, it's pretty much like recording a rehearsal, but we took more time to like re-record some certain shit like vocal, bass, and pretty much everything was done in 48 hours. And then we sent it. We rehearsed like hell, like we never done that before. It was very positive because there was absolutely nothing to do. But playing our instruments. So that was the period for us, the mental state we were in. So that came along just fine. We used the services of Phil Cusab from the Occasion, I think formerly from the Occasion, to do the mix and mastering. And he was aware of our radical approach, like we want to sound like Mental Funeral, and I don't know, super old school Autopsy, and first Death album, Dead Breath, Bolt Horror demos and stuff like that. that was the goal that we had, because I mean, we're not getting any younger, so it's the time to go all the way. Like a lot of death metal bands, they record their albums and they try too much. Like sometimes the best face you can show is the rawest.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've been bugging them for like 10 years. Like, guys, we gotta record raw. We gotta record. The old school way, and I guess I just got them over time.
You guys, like, the vocals are always in French at this point. Was there any?
Yep.
Did you ever discuss doing it in English, or you were always intent on doing it in French?
The goal was always in French. Like for me and Vitesse, the drummer, it wasn't even a question. Like why would we sing in English? We're not first. I'm like I'm pretty much the only one who can have this kind of conversation in English
Right.
in the band. The other guys, they don't speak English that much, and when bands do that, regional, like countryside Quebec bands, they sing metal in English. It sounds so. It sounds like bad. I don't know how to say it, but when you don't like master a language and you try to make songs in that language, it sounds juvenile. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I'm not an English master, but I hear like, oh no, that's a grammatical error there. I don't know. And in French, it's all we speak every day. So why would it be bad?
I think it's really good that you're sticking with French, because a lot of people might have thought they can broaden their horizons audience wise if they sing in English. But I really respect the fact that you've stuck to
Yeah.
French. So,
and there was no like ambition. Like we were super surprised that people listened to it, because we in our heads we're like gonna make music for our friends and just get fucked up in local shows, and that was the whole point.
I've been telling people about you guys for a long time, and whenever the band Tomb Mold comes up in a conversation, I'm always like, they're a great band, but there's another Tomb that you should be paying attention to.
Shit, man, thanks. we're not half the musician these guys are, but thanks a lot.
So, for people who don't speak French, what can you tell us about the lyrical content on this album?
I think it's the same way Nécrovortex was about, like, I don't know, eternal damnation in a fucked up evil plan of existence. Abysse Mortifère is more about, more concrete horror, if I could say. Like, it's a fucking big spider who disembody a dude. It's like I don't know. I wanted a more aggressive and crude approach on this one, and I think that's how I visualize a lot of songs. But in the same time, lyrically, pretty much in the same vein. Like we always have a song about gruesome, weird murders, and I don't know. We're strong also on monstrous beings, and what do we have else? Like medieval torture, executions of any types. I'm a big fan of Hammer films, like old school horror, gothic horror, Lovecraft, that kind of stuff.
Right.
It sounds like, I don't know, juvenile or very a little close-minded, but I think that's the kind of ambience we want to set, because we're not like a gore band that much. We're not an intellectual band in any ways. we just like Listen to old John Carpenter movies and H.P. the Killer. I don't know that kind of stupid stuff. And I don't know. Mostly, it's not so much lyrically than maybe in the general feeling of the songs. It fits more like the artwork in a sense. Like Nécrovortex is about mystic creature from sorcerers being conjured by sorcery or shit. And now it's just a big spider killing a dude. that's what we're going for.
If nobody had heard your band before, is there one track that you would want them to check out first that represents you best?
In that album, it would be Cenobit.
Okay, and why is that? Why do you think that represents your band best?
I think it's the one. We that carry everything we do best. Okay. Like we have some songs that are more like mid-tempo. We have songs that are faster. We have songs that are maybe like we try to sound creepy. And in this one, everything's there. Like we have fast and tomb riffings. We have creepy, more evil melodic parts, and we have that bullshit double bass. Like everything we like is there. So when I listen to the album, because I have it, figure you, I have it on my computer. So when I listen to it, it's always this one that I'm excited about.
Okay, cool.
The most because I like every songs, but this one is particularly in my taste.
And the album artwork is pretty like fitting as well. It's pretty amazing artwork. Do you have any input in that, or you have an artist that you just trust to do the artwork for you?
We did business again with Matt Carr for the second time. And he always, we always have our idea,
right?
Like, but the thing is, Matt likes the exact same thing as us, so it's never very complicated. Like every time, it's like better than I would have imagined.
Right.
Like Nécrovortex, I had no idea what he was gonna do. It was like, put a warlock with a vortex and, medieval city and some heads chopped up, I don't know. And I was like, oh shit, that's a very good painting. Like I'm a big fan of The Thing from John Carpenter, and he really likes it too. So he gets all my our references, so it's very cool. And this one was very simple, like a big spider, like ripping like kind of an inquisitor in two, and hey, I could have dreamed better.
yeah, it's pretty epic. So what was the album that initially got you into metal? Like, do you remember the first album you heard where you were like, this is my music?
The first one that I bought was actually like more power metal oriented when I was 8. But yeah, I had older cousins, but that wasn't the first metal that I heard. I think the first one was Cataclysm, Sorcery. Because of my name, my cousins make me listen to one of the old songs, Cataclysm, which is like, and I was like, shit, that's cool. And anyway, grindcore to stuff like Brutal Truth when I was super young, but I didn't like it that much. I think the first album that made me stick with metal forever was probably Number of the Beast Iron Maiden when I was a teenager. I think that would be that, yeah.
And do you remember discovering death metal, like, for real? How old you were then?
14, 15, something like that. But I wasn't a big fan at first because when I was that age, it was early 2000s, and what was big was like Cannibal Corpse, Dying Fetus, Nile. I like those bands, but I never felt that it was my music. Like it's like cool, but I like other kinds of metal. I was more into black metal as a teenager, then thrash, and through thrash metal, I realized like, oh shit, I never took the time to listen to the classic until I was like 17, 18. So first time listening to Obituary was like, shit, okay, that is really cool. And
is that like slowly rewrite?
yeah, and cause of that would be those. I was never a big fan of that for some reason. I know it's like heresy
Yeah.
in the metal world. Like my girlfriend is a huge Death fan, and I was like I never listened to you, man. And she's like, what? And what else? Massacre, Bolt Thrower, obviously. Autopsy, all those bands we always stick with. D-side as a teenager, I was like, holy fucking shit. The first two is like, to me, it has never been done better.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's like Slayer on meth. Like it's impossible. Like shit, man. I don't think there's a level beyond that of being like just aggressive. I don't think that's possible.
And what about new music? Is there any bands that you've heard recently that are kind of upcoming bands that you think are doing it really well?
In the death metal scene?
Yeah.
In the death metal scene, bands that I really liked lately, actually, I'm a big fan of Tom Mold. I really like what they do. Oh, yeah, I really like what they do. Also, I listen a little to, the Maggot Stop bands, but I got bored pretty fast. The Portland scene I really like Cerebral Rot, Fetid. Those kinds of bands are really cool. In the newer bands, they're not that newer bands because I really like the Norwegian scene, like Obliteration, Necromantian, those kind of bands. But these guys are like my age, so it's not that much. We're not that newcomers anymore. Bastard Priest from Sweden, my favorite absolute band for a lot of time. In the Bolt Thrower style death metal, there's not a lot of how could I say, deserving bands. There was a War Master that I really like, but they're split up now. There's Necrovortex that I really like, but to me, there's not like a new big team. I really like a lot of people really like Blood Incantation kind of bands. I get that. I like that, but it's not my personal favorite kind of death metal. I'm more into like Swedish Swedish and Finnish stuff, like not Demilich, but more dumb. I like that. I really like to create a Nihilist from Montreal. I think they're from McMasterville actually, but there's or longer is it? I don't know. And also there's a lot of Finnish bands that I really like, but I don't think anyone has the upper end right now. A lot of bands are similar. There's a lot of bands who came from hardcore who abuse HM2 without, to me, the riff creativity. But there's a lot of, especially on the East Coast, on the West Coast, bands that are making very interesting stuff.
So what's next for you guys?
We'll try to play shows whenever possible. Probably this winter there's a couple events that may happen, and we are currently working on playing away from Canada.
That's exciting.
That would be very cool because we're pretty much the only place where live shows haven't really came back the way it was. Like as I could see, there's European festival took place. The US are like having live shows like nothing happened. So so it's pretty it's a bad time. It's always a bad time to be a musician north of the US. Like it's just hell. You have to drive 6 hours to play anywhere. We will try to play whenever we can in Canada, but the the actual setting right now, I don't see us touring in Canada anytime soon. Like most bands, actually. What Canadian bands has touring plans right now, I don't know. Anyway, we're not very up for making live recording. What do you say it in English? Like when you play in a bar and they're filming you at the same time. Do you? Can you help me out?
The live stream. You mean live stream?
Yeah, live streaming. Yeah. Live streaming. Thanks. Yeah, it's
not the same.
No, and my guys are not interested at all. So we're like, let's just find a way to play abroad, and we'll see later for Canada. But obviously we want to play in front of our friends again in most big cities. So we're kind of impatient for that, but there's nothing we can do. Like that's the thing. But we have a split with a French band that may come around, already recorded and stuff. So we're gonna try to profit from that forced live break. Actually, we in hindsight we were super smart. Like we decided not to play shows in 2020. That was a decision of the
before you decided before COVID, right?
We were like, let's not make shows that year. Let's make an album. Let's concentrate on the album. And oh shit, our society crushed. It was crushed. So that was we were soothsayers on that one.
Okay, so my last question, like we've spoken a lot about metal and especially the extreme side of metal, but I don't believe that anybody listens to metal all the time. So what do you listen to when you're just chilling out?
Oh shit, metal. No, mostly metal actually, but I like old school hip hop. I like post punk. I like what do I listen to? I love punk, old school rock. I really like stuff like ZZ Top, Kiss. I'm a big Kiss fan.
Right.
What else? Prog rock, maybe some old school Quebec folk rock too. I like blues a little too, but what else? The only styles I really don't like are like maybe reggae and disco. Okay. Like the stuff I just can't get. But otherwise, I'm a pretty big old school hip hop nerd.
So, if push came to shove, what would you say is your favorite album of all time?
Oh shit, metal at all?
Anything. Favorite
Anything.
album?
Favorite album of all time? That would probably be either it's Realm of Chaos by Bolt Thrower. You could say this one because there's no other album that make my brain like boil like this one. I don't know the first fucking riffs and I lose all my IQ. it drops to 12 and I don't know. I just love that. It made me love metal in the first place. There's pretty much everything I like.
I'm glad you said that.
I wish.
Because before I moved to Canada, I lived in Birmingham, so I know the Bolt Thrower guys. We used to go drinking together, so it's nice to hear.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's nice to hear them getting shouted out by you.
Oh man, it's my all-time favorite because I wish I could say I could pick a Slayer album to be my favorite. I wish I could pick a Napalm Death album to be one of. So it's it's something like that, and I that would if Celtic Frost had done more complete albums, it would be a Celtic Frost album. If I don't know, it could have been a Battery album too. So I'm like, shit. At that point, I'm gonna pick like the most nerdy death metal. And in the brutal way too. That's pretty much it was either that or one of the things I mentioned, maybe First and Tomb. I don't know. There's so many good death metal, but I know that album it can be on repeat forever, and I won't be sad.
Okay, that's a good quality. I'll take that. Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been fun chatting with you, and good luck with the album. And hopefully, we're going to get to see you play live at some point soon. We'll keep our fingers crossed. So
yeah, please. If anyone from the government is listening, please give us shows. It's long overdue.
Yeah,
because 2 years is pretty crazy. Actually, never thought it would happen.
Yeah,
but it's I understand people who travel to the US to see show right now. First I was like, shit, it's pretty irresponsible, and now I'm like, fuck, take me with you.
Yeah, well, hopefully not too long. We'll have to wait. So yeah, merci beaucoup.
Thanks a lot.
Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot. If you ever play Montreal, give a go say us hi.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be there. I look forward to that.
Yeah. Have a great evening.
You too. Thanks again.
See ya.
Bye.